What if I told you that there is a secret tax being collected from your bank account every single day, and you are unknowingly paying it? You don't see it leave your account. You don't get a receipt. But every single day, your $100 is slowly being drained of its power. If you leave it sitting there, it is not just staying the same, it is actively losing value. Most people believe that wealth is a game played by the elite. They look at their bank account, see $100, and think, what can I possibly do with this? So, they spend it. They tell themselves, I'll start investing when I have real money. But here is the hard truth. You are not waiting for money to start investing. You are waiting for an excuse to stay broke. If you think $100 is too small to make a difference, you have already lost. The math of compound interest doesn't care about your starting balance. It cares about your consistency. If I offered you a machine that turns every $100 you put in today into $1 million in the future, you would find that money. That machine exists. It's called the stock market, and its fuel is time. That $100 is the most dangerous weapon in your arsenal against the rat race. The day you invest your first $100 with purpose, you stop being a servant to your salary, and you start becoming a master of your future. The biggest obstacle to wealth isn't the lack of money, it's the all-or-nothing fallacy. When you invest $100, you are doing something psychological. You are declaring that your future self is a priority over your present cravings. You are no longer a consumer, you are now an owner. Let's look at the numbers. If you invest $100 a month with an average return of 10%, in 10 years, you have roughly $20,000. Let it run for 20 years, that number jumps to over $75,000. Let it run for 30 years, that $100 a month becomes over $220,000. Time is more valuable than capital. Everything changes because of the momentum effect. Once you see that first $100 grow, you start looking for ways to make it $200. You start auditing your expenses. You stop spending on things that provide zero return. You start realizing that every dollar is a soldier you send into battle. When you spend your money, those soldiers die. When you invest them, they capture more soldiers. You aren't working for money anymore, you are building a system that replicates itself while you sleep. Now, why do most people fail to even reach this stage? It is because they fall victim to the inflation of lifestyle. As soon as they get a small raise, their rent goes up, they buy a better car, or they eat out more often. They are trying to fill a bucket that has a massive hole in the bottom. You must stop trying to look wealthy and start trying to be wealthy. The first $100 is not just about the money, it is about the discipline to stop the leaks in your financial bucket. Many people also ask me about risk. What if the market drops? What if I lose my $100? This is the fear that keeps you poor. Risk is not the market going down. Risk is the certainty of inflation eating away at your cash while it sits under a mattress or in a low-interest savings account. When you invest that $100, you are taking a calculated risk to beat the silent thief known as inflation. Wealth is not built by avoiding risk, it is built by managing it through consistency and diversification. Furthermore, understand the knowledge dividend. When you start investing that $100, you will naturally start reading about finance. You will start understanding what a P/E ratio is, what dividends are, and why companies grow. That knowledge is worth 10 times more than the actual money you are investing. You are not just buying shares, you are buying a seat at the table of the global economy. You are learning how the world works, and that education will stay with you forever, even if the markets fluctuate. Consider the power of small gains. Wealthy people are not usually made overnight. They are made through thousands of small, boring decisions that compounded over time. It is the decision to pack your lunch instead of eating out. It is the decision to use an old phone for one more year. It is the decision to put that $100 into an index fund instead of a trendy clothing item. These small decisions, when repeated for a decade, create a tidal wave of wealth that no one can stop. Think about your future self. In 30 years, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the person who is still stressed about every paycheck, still working a job you dislike just to pay for bills? Or do you want to be the person who has options? Options are the ultimate form of wealth. Having the ability to say no to a bad boss, no to a toxic environment, or no to a lifestyle that doesn't serve you, that is true freedom. And that freedom is bought, $100 at a time. Most people underestimate what they can do in 10 years, but they overestimate what they can do in 1 year. Wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. If you find yourself discouraged, just look back at where you started. That $100 you invested yesterday is the foundation for the skyscraper you are building tomorrow. Every single dollar you put into the market is an employee working for you, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never asking for a break, never asking for a raise, and never complaining. You don't need a fancy broker. You need a brokerage account, a low-cost index fund, and the discipline to automate it. Treat that $100 like a bill you have to pay. It should be the first thing that comes out of your paycheck, not the last. Everything changes when you invest $100 because you finally see the potential of your own agency. Your financial situation isn't a life sentence, it's a math problem. Take $100. Invest it this month. Watch what happens to your mindset when you realize that you are finally in the game. You are no longer waiting for a miracle, you are building one. The game of wealth is not played with luck. It is played with logic, time, and the stubborn refusal to give up. You have the power right now to rewrite your entire family's history. You don't need to be born into money. You don't need a high-paying executive job. You just need to respect the process, respect the math, and respect your future self enough to start today. Stop looking for shortcuts, because the long road, traveled consistently, is the only shortcut that actually works. Your $100 is waiting. Your future is waiting. The only question left is, will you have the discipline to claim it?